50 amazing facts to blow your mind. So let's see what he has to say. Hopefully this is interesting. Because I just watched something else and it was kind of boring.
But it's here. Here are 50 amazing facts to blow your mind. Number 150. The toy company Mattel once made a vibrating Harry Potter broomstick. A toy that was intended for kids to be able to pretend to fly.
Why the fuck would they make a vibrating broomstick? Who came up with that? And why was that going to be for children? Why would they need a broomstick that's supposed to vibrate, go in between their legs? For children.
Around on. But they were forced to discontinue the toy after adult stores in Times Square started selling them for twice their original price. During the Vietnam War, the U.S. conducted what they called Operation Popeye, in which they stimulated clouds in Vietnam to extend the monsoon season.
Oh, I didn't put a base code.
In 1974, and the United States' involvement in this operation became public knowledge. €0 banknotes exist. They have no monetary value, but instead are used as souvenirs. They're intended to promote tourism, and each one has a unique design relating to European landmarks or events. James Cole of the University of Brighton found that human meat is a lot less nutritious than pork or wild game, and that the average human body has about 75 pounds of edible meat. I really don't want to know how he figured that out. Out of the 400 to 500 species of sharks, the sand tiger shark is the only one known to fart. The Guinness World Record
that's
for the
random
most
as
children
fuck.
delivered at a single birth to survive is 9 babies, known as nonuplets.
Oh, wow.
Belongs to a woman in the African country of Mali. Sharks don't make sounds. Across all their species, none of them have any organs capable of producing sound. There's a term called vasovagal syncope, which refers to a sudden loss or near loss of consciousness caused by an emotional or environmental trigger, such as the sight of blood or needles. So if you've ever fainted while getting blood work done or just don't like needles, that's what that was. NASA discovered that only 40 digits of pi are needed to accurately calculate the observable universe's circumference within one hydrogen atom. Jack White of the White Stripes originally wanted to save the guitar riff used in Seven Nation Army for if he ever got the chance to make a James Bond theme song. Now that didn't happen, obviously. However, interestingly,
I don't get none of these.
he did in fact get his wish 5 years after the song was released, when he wrote the theme song for the 2008 Bond film Quantum of Solace. Roosters have built-in ear protection to prevent them from going deaf from their own crowing. Up until 2018,
wow! That explains a lot, because those motherfuckers can go... Wait, no, that's the wrong animal. But it's like... No, I was like... How you say rooster? Yo, I have it in my head, but I can't say it out loud. That's sad.
In the United States, specifically in Florida, who still sold fried apple pies. Now they're all baked, in case you didn't get the comparison, as if that was at all healthier. On December 2nd, 1942, scientists at the University of Chicago produced the first controlled nuclear chain reaction in human history. James Earl Jones and Carrie Fisher, who was the voice of Darth Vader, and the actress who played Princess Leia respectively, never met until they made cameo appearances in an episode of The Big Bang Theory in Season 7, Episode 14, 37 years later. There are 5 species
she got the same name as me
living
too.
in the River Thames in London, and at least one of those species is venomous. After President Kennedy's assassination in 1963, the owner of the Texas School Book Depository building had the infamous sniper's window physically removed and placed on mounted display in his own home. When axolotls lose a limb, they can regrow the missing body part within a few weeks. In this way, they can regenerate almost anything, including limbs, spinal cord, heart, and even parts of its own brain. It can even remain in its larval form throughout its entire life. NBA player JaVale McGee and his mother, former WNBA player Pamela McGee, are the only mother-son duo in history to win Olympic gold medals. The U.S. state of South Dakota installs fatal accident markers at sites of fatal
Guys, that's like the ideal mother and son duo. They really got Olympic rings together. That's what's up.
Oldsmobile crashes to help prevent future crashes. They're durable signs that say think or why die, and also act as memorials for the deceased. Prior to humans settling there, New Zealand had no land-based mammals apart from 3 bat species. The longest conflict in human history was the Liberian Reconquista. The struggle between Christians and Muslims in the European peninsula took almost 800 years to resolve. Freshwater mussels, the kind that you eat, start their life as parasitic larvae known as Glochidia. When these larval mussels are expelled by their mother, they must find a suitable host fish to develop, and so attach themselves to the fish's gills. Police departments in southeastern China have actually started recruiting squirrels as alternative drug sniffer units over the usual canines. Their smelling and climbing capabilities are superior. Seagulls are an endangered species in New Zealand with fewer than 100,000 remaining. Jacob Nacken was the tallest German soldier in World War II, standing 7 foot 3 inches or 2.21 meters. John Pemberton was a Confederate officer who became addicted to morphine after receiving a saber wound. Pemberton made a series of concoctions attempting to cure his addiction. Pemberton's experiments with coca and cola resulted in Pemberton's French wine cola, and later, Coca-Cola. Lead shielding during an X-ray not only isn't necessary, but may expose you to even more radiation, and is no longer supported by the American Association of Physicists in Medicine. The Woolworth Company, aka Woolworths, was a 5 cents for everything store back in the 20th century that did not go out of business, but instead just changed their name to that of their most profitable division, Foot Locker. Since 2020, there's been a massive Burmese python invasion underway in the Florida Everglades. They've eaten practically every mammal in sight, and they have no natural predators. Bill Lear, the creator of the Learjet, also invented the 8-track tape cartridge in 1964. It was originally called the Learjet Stereo 8 cartridge. American yellow mustard was first introduced in 1904 by George J. French as
not the
mustard. Before her death, Queen Elizabeth II left behind a secret letter that cannot be opened until 2085. Betty Crocker was a person
I wonder what's in that letter.
For General Mills. There have been over 16,000 books and articles published on U.S. President Lincoln, more than any other American. Estrogen from birth control pills is sometimes excreted in human waste, which can end up in municipal wastewater and eventually the environment. Some species of male fish are actually becoming feminized as a result. Cyclone Olivia that struck Australia in 1996 had a wind speed of over 254 miles per hour or 408 kilometers per hour. This is the fastest non-tornadic surface wind speed ever observed on Earth. One bad apple in a bunch will release ethylene, a hydrocarbon gas that will ruin all the other apples in the bunch. That perfect glob or wave of
I'm sorry, the apple said, if I'm going down, we all going down. It's a collective in this pack. It ain't gonna just be me.
Paste on boxes and in advertisements is called a nurdle. Believe it or not, companies like Colgate and Glaxo have actually sued each other over the nurdle usage. During World War II, only 30 to 40% of the German army was mechanized. The remainder relied on rails or horse-drawn transportation. Modern fruit is becoming too sweet for zoo animals after years of genetic modification, to the point where zoos have had to stop feeding them to the animals. Philippe Kahn invented the first candy cane back in 1997.
What does that say? If the animals don't even want to eat the fruit no more, should we be eating the fruit, y'all? Isn't that a little skeptical?
The first photo that he took was of his newborn daughter, Sophie. In 1995, a hospital in Memphis anonymously received a $1 million McDonald's Monopoly game piece in the mail. McDonald's paid the hospital the prize of $50,000 for 20 years. It was later learned that this piece was acquired as part of a years-long scam and mailed to the hospital by the ringleader. A duck's ass was a popular men's hairstyle in the 1950s. Where the sides of the hair were slicked back, resembling the hindquarters of a duck. Mangoes are in the poison ivy
People are weird.
And the skins have the same chemical called urushiol on them. Holding in your urine for too long can actually cause kidney failure and kill you. Before password protection was common, IBM computers had a physical key lock. The function of the locks ranged from preventing keyboard input, locking the power switch in the off position, and preventing the computer case from being opened. Ancient Egyptians and Greeks used electric fish to treat arthritis, gout, and other ailments. Brussels sprouts have been systematically...
Did that work for arthritis? He didn't even say if it worked or not. They use electric fish? Do they still do that now?
...bred to be less bitter and taste better since the 1990s. The co-founder of AA, Bill Wilson, believed that LSD could help alcoholics stop drinking. The world's largest cruise ship, Wonder of the Seas,
LSD is crazy.
35% longer and 120%
They said let's use another drug.
wider than the Titanic, and it currently operates.
That's crazy.